bio that you really strive to make relatable characters, and I thought you did that so well here, where you capture this conflict between them, that they clearly love each other, especially as I read the whole book. You know, they love each other, but she has this resentment and anger. He's got this guilt. He's always uncomfortable with her. What is your advice to other writers to make these characters relatable, well-rounded, three-dimensional like you did?
Yeah. Well, there's an old adage like torture your characters, right? Have you ever heard that one?
Because I've heard get your character up a tree and then throw stones at them.
Yeah, same thing, right? You know, I mean, when you make it something real and there's high stakes, I think that that does begin to help you make them relatable, because you're putting them in a situation that, you know, may not be literally the same as something else that somebody else has experienced, but you can paint an emotional reality there, I think. And also with a lot of detail, I believe, that is very important. I think also is the detail, you know, for making the stakes high, and also to write from your heart too. Does that make sense? Write from your heart, to the heart. I was asked once, you know, and I came up with that phrase, you know, what style do you write in, or how do you make your characters relatable? And that phrase came to me. That's how I like to write. I find when I do, it seems much more real. It feels more real to me, and I think it makes it feel real to the reader as well.
Well, and I think even though this book is about alien abduction, which, you know, some people may or may not find far-fetched, this is such an unfortunately common situation where you've got a single parent and they're doing their best, but they just can't be there 24/7. You know, we don't live in a society that makes that so easy anymore. So that alone, I think a lot of people are going to relate to this. He's trying to take care of her by himself. That does lead to the question, a lot of people do think that these UFO experiences are really advanced military equipment. And I know my dad, having been in the military, he was one day reading, I think it was Popular Science, and they were going on about this amazing new, I think it was a submarine. And this was like back in the early 80s, maybe. And he told me, I knew about that 25 years ago. That is nowhere near new. And, you know, what is your feeling on that, whether it's actually UFOs or our own military?
Well, I think it's probably both. I don't think that one mutually excludes the other. I bet we do have we know we have a lot of secret, you know, weapons programs and such that are going on. That's just a given. Some people who say they're in the know and have worked for the government and seen things and heard things say that some of these crafts in crashes have been reverse engineered in order to, by the U.S., not only the U.S. government, but the Soviet, Russian government, and other governments around the world, possibly. So I do think it's both, and I think there probably is a disinformation campaign that the government is involved in that maybe is meant to confuse people. You know, they may claim that something isn't a UFO, is a UFO, or go along with the story and not comment, because if people assume that, they won't start digging deep into what kind of weapons we're building, you know? And of course, they don't want our adversaries to get these secrets from us too. But at the same time, there's so many people who have seen things that seem inexplicable. And they've also, you know, experienced, say they've talked to these beings from other worlds or wherever they come from. And that many people do think that there's a UFO cover-up. And you know, a few years ago, right, they came out, the government said that talked about UAPs and admitted that they're UAPs, and some of them could not be explained.
two plays about? I think you've had two produced.
Mm-hmm. One is a one-act play, and it's a love story. It's about these two people who were gonna get married a long time before, but they don't, and then they reunite and they're married in the play.
Okay.
So they reunite before that, but it's like on their wedding day, and they have because it's many years between. They have kind of secrets that each other don't know about. And then another one is a full-length play, and that's kind of a wacky play. It's called The Elite Sanitarium, and it's very crazy and slapsticky and funny. I kind of call it a cross between, well, if anybody's familiar with between Molière, who was a great French satirist, comedy writer, funny as heck, his plays from the 17th century, and Oscar Wilde, who was another great genius writer of plays, and just totally funny, and he used to make fun of the upper class. And it's just about this rich guy who's completely helpless, and he's totally dependent on the people who work for him, and they, get in a lot of trouble.